Roger wasn't the first person to think of religious freedom, religious liberty, separation of church and state, but he was the first person to get it done. This is the first practical application, and it's a dangerous application. He was a real radical from that time. When you think about it, governments were based on the belief that God gave the kings and the emperors and the whatever the authority to be rulers. Roger is saying separate church and state. The authority comes from somewhere else. It comes from the people. The people should be able to determine what form of government is above them. This was really radical in Roger's time. This was extremely radical at the time of the American Revolution. This is an idea, any time in history, is a dangerous idea that the people are actually in control. This separation of church and state, a lot of people, when they hear that phrase, they think, well, that means religion isn't important. It's just the opposite for Roger. For Roger, religion was too important to be tied to something like government, because government, in Roger's time, in our time, in any time in history, if you look at it, there's corruption. There's dirty dealing. There's backstabbing. There's assassinations. And that's almost an everyday occurrence around the world. Not in any one government, but across governments, across the nation, because it's about power. If your faith is tied to government, it's tied to power. That's what Roger Williams wanted separate. Your faith is too important to be tied to something that's willing to bend even its own rules for the sake of power on this earth.